If you are interested in starting your own podcast, we use Buzzsprout because it is simple and easy to use. Buzzsprout can get your show listed on every major platform while giving you the resources for a great podcast website, audio players that can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening to your podcast, and tools to promote your episodes. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and that is why over 100,000 podcasters are already subscribed to Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Following the link in our episode descriptions lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you. So in return, you will receive a $20 Amazon gift card from Buzzsprout while signing up for a paid plan. Most importantly, every subscription through our link is always appreciated and helps support our show so we can continue delivering the quality content that you guys listen to. That being said, back to the show.
Hello and welcome to Comic Book Junkies. I'm Andrew.
This is Joe.
And this time we're coming at you with our preview, or I guess our thoughts, our preliminary thoughts on the upcoming DCU, the new DCU under James Gunn movie slate. Also the TV shows, Gods and Monsters, if you want to call it that. We'll see how long they stick with that tagline, or hell, even half of these movies. But we're going to give you our thoughts on that. But before we dig in, what's up, Joe? Heard you're out of breath.
Yeah, I ran on the treadmill today for 5 minutes. I put it on that like random interval thing, and then I had two baconators afterwards. And like I was telling Berger before we started, I don't know if it's the baconators or the workout, but I'm out of breath today.
If you,
Woo.
you hear heavy breathing, it's him.
It's for sure me.
If it sounds like there's a pug on the podcast, it's the Baconator pushing on Joe's gut.
Oh my God.
Both of
Yeah.
them.
And I had a whiskey while I was waiting for us to set up. So
Oh hell yeah,
yeah,
you're ready.
I'm ready. But I guess before we get started, 2025 was a race. Berger would be lapping me. He's already got some pretty big books this year. Let the gang know. Let the CBJ gang know.
Well, you got some pickups yourself, but yeah, I got actually
Wait,
one
wait,
in
wait, wait,
today.
wait, wait. That was like the last day of December, though. I don't know if it counts, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was fortunate enough to come into some extra cash around the holidays. Won my Dynasty Fantasy Football League championship for those of you who care who's exactly zero people. But it had a nice payout to finally get first for once. Got a smaller payout for third. Sent it to my PayPal, and you know me, I'm not hooking up my bank account to my PayPal, so naturally it's got to be spent on eBay or DoorDash. Restrained myself from the Baconators for now, but I did order a couple books, and one just arrived today, Journey into Mystery 84. So if you're familiar, I've been on like a Thor kick. I mean, it only gets slightly larger than this as far as Thor books go. Issues 83 and 85 are bigger. This is the second appearance of Thor, and it's the first appearance of Jane Foster. Complete, attached. It's got a little chunk out of the bottom right part of the cover, but nothing like substantial that's like super distracting. And so I'm pretty pumped about that. And I'll probably tell you about the other book. Should I tell him now or should I tell him once it comes in?
Just let the people know.
All right. Well, I won an auction and I have Amazing Spider-Man issue 16 on its way too. It actually just got shipped today, or the shipping label was at least created. So I'll have one of those on its way soon. It's the last of the huge Spider-Man top 20 books I need. I mean, obviously I need 1, 2, and 14, but we're talking closer to $1,000 a piece at minimum for those. But out of the remaining issues, 16, 17, 18 that I need, this was the biggest one and I decided to knock it off. Fourth appearance of Daredevil, first time he ever appears outside of his own book. So very pumped to get that in the mail whenever that comes.
We were talking about it a few episodes ago. I just love that cover and how Daredevil 16 also has a similar cover, but different.
Yeah, same
Inverse.
but different. Yeah, and now I'll have the pair, so I'm pretty pumped. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm twiddling my fingers thinking about locking in on one last book.
Get the last book, get yourself a Baconator, and
I
just
already
take a deep
talked to
breath.
a lot of deep breaths. I already talked to Jazz as we were taking our dog for a walk, and I was just like, man, I should probably just do it. She's like, oh, I thought you said she thought I was talking it was $100 more than what it's going for, and I was like, no, it's going for this much. She's like, well, that's not that bad. So she kind of gave me her blessing, and so we'll see what I do. Getting a little impulsive around here.
Yeah, but it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. But that said, did you want to get right into it?
Sure. So there's a couple ways we could start off. Not sure how you want to start off because we do got TV slate, we do got a movie slate. They were starting off five of each, but since that initial news drop, they did chuck in a couple extra projects that they plan on releasing. So we could just sprinkle those in wherever. Do we want to do like chronological? Talk about Creature Commando since that's actually happening, talk about Superman since it's up next, and then just kind of go off the slate.
Yeah, that sounds good. I guess before doing this episode, I didn't really tally what's supposed to come chronologically. Obviously, we could start with Creature Commandos and Superman because those are actually in the works. But yeah, that sounds good. Let's start with Creature Commandos.
Cool. So do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so it's the first project in the Gods and Monsters chapter one. Um,
Oh,
oh, so yeah, interesting that they started it as a TV show and an animated one at that. But so far, so good. It's not as good as The Penguin, but I do think it's a fun show. It's a light way to kick things off, and I can already tell how much thought has gone into it because it already feels kind of interconnected to everything he's gonna be releasing, even though that stuff's not out. And although I'm not champing at the bit between episodes, I do think it's a great start and excited for the finale of season one. Maybe that will shed some more light onto what's coming next for DCU. But the characters have been pretty entertaining as well. Like I kind of sympathize for Weasel.
Weasel rules.
GI Robot's also really cool.
He rules too.
Yeah, Dr. Phosphorus is cool as well. I guess what was distracting though is when spoiler alert, Frankenstein killed that blind lady. That was wild to me, bro.
Yeah, Frankenstein's the coolest man in all of Europe. He's like Jesus, but for like Europeans. I don't know if this version is, but
Yeah.
yeah, I tend to agree with you though. Like they're kind of more middling characters. Fish Chicks, kind of mid. I'm sure we'll sympathize with her in the next episode. Rick Flag is all right. I mean, he's got to deal with a bunch of dipshits, but I'm with you. Like Weasel and GI Robot, I'm like genuinely like, hell yeah, they're cool. But I'm with you. It's not one of those shows where I'm like, oh man, can't wait for next week. But I do find myself turning it on within a day or two of it dropping and being like, that's a good 20-minute or so watch. And I don't feel disappointed. They put in a lot of deep cuts too, and a lot of foreshadowing for the upcoming like live action. Because if you didn't know, it is supposed to be intertwined with that one continuity, supposedly. So anything that happens here technically happens in whatever we'll be seeing in Superman and everything moving forward.
You're right. Like when they cameoed Clayface, I thought that was really cool.
That was cool. Yeah. Spoilers for anybody who's not current, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
Oops, a little late for that one.
Farted. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got on Creature Commandos. It's been pretty fun so far, but not like I don't know. It's just kind of a good way to it's a stepping stone for what's next, which is Superman. So this is going to be the first of the movies, live action. I absolutely love the trailer. All I know is that they can't afford to miss with this one. But it doesn't look like they're going to. Can't say enough great things about the style, the approach, the casting. I even put in a vacation day at work already to make sure I'm there for opening day. So, being
No
the
way.
Superman fanboy that I am, I literally don't have any major gripes about this so far. So,
Undies outside pants.
undies are going to be outside of the pants. I'm so excited.
Mine are gonna have stains on them.
Why?
Baconators. I don't know.
Just a bunch of mayonnaise stains.
It ain't talking about mayo, brother. But it's gonna be, yeah, I'm with you. They really can't afford to miss this. If they mess up on basically square one, this whole operation's going down. So we really
There
do
will
need
be no gods and monsters if this sinks.
no gods, no monsters. Like I don't know what'll happen, but like ain't gonna be good. So gotta have faith in Superman. Gotta have hope. That's what the S stands for.
Hope.
On Krypton, it does.
Soap. Um, but yeah, no, I know as much as you guys do at this point. There was no dialogue in that trailer, but it all looked really cool. But I guess that being said, the only thing I understand that would probably follow Superman would be Supergirl.
That one is actually confirmed.
Yes.
Is in process.
should be the second big movie in James Gunn's DCU. I really enjoyed the casting for Supergirl, and I enjoyed the casting for Jason Momoa as Lobo. I think that might give this movie a little more oomph. I'm wondering if she actually appears in Superman at all.
I wouldn't put it past him at this point. Everybody and their brother is going to be in Superman at this point. So I'm sure she'll be there.
Cool. Well,
Yeah,
after that, it's just kind of like whatever
who
comes,
knows?
comes, because a lot of this stuff could either fall apart or they could think of something new. I have no idea, but I guess from what's slated to come out, they mentioned The Authority.
The
Um,
Authority.
although I appreciate him bringing characters and stories out of the woodwork, this is a project I might pass on in the lineup.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't really know. I didn't really know a lot about the Creature Commandos, and that's been fun, but I'm not sure that I'm a fan of the vibe of the Wildstorm characters.
Yeah, I've never really been a Wildstorm guy. It's basically just if you want to watch a different version of Superman and Batman like 69 with some other weird people in the background, that's what this is. So like that's not exactly what I'm interested in, and I'm sure there's a contingent of Wildstorm fans out there. I don't know if they listen to us.
If you
Um,
do, quit.
yeah, don't quit listening to us. Just quit the Wildstorm stuff. I'm just kidding. But some people really like that. I don't know. Maybe we were just too into comics past that because we were a bit relatively recent to the peak of Wildstorm. But in our lifetime, every time that they've tried to reincorporate Wildstorm into like main DC continuity, it's never worked, and therefore we've just never cared. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I will say I like Grifter's costume. That's about as much as I can really speak on that. Cool
Word.
mask. But
Uh,
yeah, ultimately in the middle on that one.
Brave and the Bold should be coming out. Love the title if they stick with that because a lot of great DC comic history happened in Brave and the Bold. And I think it would be an honor to introduce Batman and Robin that way, if not Detective, Brave and the Bold. I have also seen a lot of news about them doing something with the Teen Titans, and I think Brave and the Bold would actually be a great stepping stone or like segue for that as well. So, question for you actually. Are there any villains that you would want to see in like a Batman and Robin movie?
Hmm. Well, I mean, obviously you want to see like the classics. I mean, like eventually you'd like to see like Hush, characters like that. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with like any of the Silver Age like pantheon of characters, but like we've seen most of them a lot already. So, I mean, I'm open to whatever. I feel like at some point though, they're gonna use something street level like Firefly or like Killer Moth or something. But I mean, honestly, I mean, if they're gonna do Batman and Robin, they could just do like Professor Pig or something and go like real weird with it because it's not going to be like the Dick and Damien, but you can draw inspiration from that run since they seem to be referencing decent source material. But I guess I don't know. I'm just excited to see Robin on the big screen for once. Get us a proper Robin, hopefully. But I don't know. Do you got any ideal people for
Yeah.
Batman to cripple?
Well, good call out. I appreciate that they want to do Damian Wayne this time around, which hasn't been done before.
Oh, cool.
But no, I do actually because I was talking to a coworker the other day and we were talking about how like Thanos is like this generation's big bad of Marvel villains.
Yeah.
And it was because of that movie. I feel like there's a lot of hype around the
What?
who am I thinking of? Oh, the Court of Owls.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this would be kind of a really smart place to introduce that character, and I think that that would take off with this generation. I don't think it would be Thanos important because it's not like an overarching villain, but just the way kind of people started to care about Bane after that third movie in the Nolan trilogy, I think that the Court of Owls could probably have that kind of a weight. So yeah, I think that would be really cool. I guess my last question about Brave and the Bold for you, there's been a lot of rumors about maybe them keeping Robert Pattinson.
No, that's gonna be separate, separate but equal.
How would you feel about him being Batman for the DCU?
I like him as Batman in those movies, but I want a fresh start if we're gonna do that. I don't want to half-ass anything.
I agree.
Give me a new Batman. I mean, shit. Like if we're gonna have a new Superman, get me a new Batman. I know we've had a billion Batman, but like just do everything new except for John Cena.
Yeah. Keep the important stuff.
Keep John Cena.
Yeah, and then start over. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be hurt, but I do agree that if you're gonna rip the Band-Aid, you just gotta rip the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing is gonna be in the works.
I feel like that's the one that gets canceled.
See, outside of Superman, that would be the one I would be looking forward to the most.
I don't
Between that and
disagree.
Brave and the Bold, maybe more so Swamp Thing though, because I think it's long overdue. I think it's very fitting with the name of this chapter as opposed to the other movies. And this is the kind of reach I want to see DC take. I mean, Creature Commandos is fine and Authority's fine, but like grab somebody that's just been waiting to be a A-list character. So it's not totally obscure and it's not a rehash of something else either. So this could also make way for the Justice League Dark. So I'll be paying attention to any updates about this film, but Swampy deserves to be in the spotlight. And then more so than the Justice League Dark, I think just a straight up standalone Swamp Thing movie would be sick with no Justice League Dark. Like if they just got this movie matching the vibes of the first 10 issues of Swamp Thing, I think you'd have like a horror blockbuster in the making. Unlike Superman, this movie also kind of gives you the opportunity to explore the dark side of the DCU. So I feel like Marvel kind of tried by making movies like Werewolf by Night or Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness, but this could be next level and hopefully scary.
Yeah, I agree with all those things. I just feel like this is the one that just gets shot into the void because it feels like it always happens every time they intend to do something new with Swamp Thing. Then they're like, oh man, we actually kind of suck at making movies again. And then this one ends up getting pushed back indefinitely until it goes into like development hell. And I'm not saying that's what I want. I would very much like a new Swamp Thing movie. I agree with you. Swamp Thing rules. It's just something in my guts just like I feel like this gets shuffled around because I feel like this is like the movie that they kick out and they put a Clayface movie in with. You know what I mean? Because I've already heard rumors of Clayface. Now, where the hell does he fit in Gods and Monsters? Because they're talking about making that in the next couple years. So I feel like that's like some they do the old switcheroony and Swamp Thing gets the boot or pushed back to another phase or whatever you want to call it, and then we get something else instead. Just a gut feeling.
Oh man, I mean, I'm excited for this one too, Booster Gold, but like I'd rather Booster Gold get the boot than Swamp Thing. But I do think you're right. I feel like I've heard the least amount about Swamp Thing. And to your point, every time they've tried to do it, it's like me running on a treadmill, bro. Goes nowhere.
Nice. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I would be fine with them keeping like any of the movies that they've pitched in regard and kicking out most of the TV because I mean, we could discuss them in greater detail, time pending. But like, other than the Green Lantern movie or the Green Lantern TV show, I'm not really that concerned with Waller, Paradise Lost, or Booster Gold, to be quite honest with you. I mean, a Booster Gold movie would be cool, but I have a feeling like they're gonna do something goofy with the casting and it's gonna annoy me. And then, why do I need a Waller show when she's already in Creature Commandos and in Peacemaker? I don't care about Amanda Waller enough for her to have her own show.
Yeah, well let's unpack that. So for Booster Gold, I've liked the casting for the stuff so far, but eventually James Gunn is not going to have control over everything because there's just going to be too much stuff to oversee. So I do understand that. But I think if they bring either, which are completely different vibes, but either like a Watchmen take to it or like some kind of comedic relief to it, I think that that could have its own unique lane in this arc of movies and shows. But I totally agree about Waller. Never been a fan of Waller. She's already in Creature Commandos, to your point, and Peacemaker. So I'm sure it will make for a great tie-in for that kind of stuff and keeping it all interconnected. But I don't know. I'm good at this point. I do really like Viola Davis as Waller. That's really my only hope for that show. But the
Yeah.
Lanterns, that's one that's also long overdue. Like they were supposed to do a Lantern show before the James Gunn thing happened. Like there was a rumor that they had one going and it was going to be just like True Detective, but space cops. And obviously it got scrapped when they committed to the refresh. But this is a great opportunity to put some respect on the Lanterns because like the last memory everybody has of them is that terrible Ryan Reynolds movie. And I was listening to a James Gunn interview on YouTube, and he said he jokingly reached out to Ryan Reynolds about coming back as Hal Jordan, and that Ryan Reynolds jokingly replied to tell him to fuck off, which is kind of funny. But I guess last but not least on that one, Paradise Lost. I don't know. I mean, there's been the movies, and the first one was good. The second one was terrible. But I feel like you can really kind of extend things by giving it like a Game of Thrones type feel. So
Oh yeah, it'd be
I don't
so
know.
interesting.
Th-
Wonder
that
Woman without Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman on her own is barely interesting at this point. You're
Oh, you
gonna just
gotta
tell
have
me
her involved. You're right.
she isn't gonna be involved. It's just gonna be Lesbian Island, the TV show. It's
Oh,
like
come on. They got they gotta
I'm dead
introduce her
serious.
eventually, bro.
Well, no, it's
It's not
about
like a Fox movie
Themyscira.
where they do all these Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man.
That's what this is gonna be.
No.
I
Come on.
guarantee it. No, yeah, it's gonna be like Hippolyta and fucking who I don't know who else. It ain't gonna be no Wonder Woman. Maybe Nubia if we're lucky, and then I just trust it. It ain't gonna be. I think it's supposed to be about Themyscira without Wonder Woman, which is like, don't do that. Just
Yeah, they
don't do
can't
it.
do that. It would have to include Wonder Woman. I think that show has hope if there's a Wonder Woman in it.
Yeah, now okay, now let's go off the assumption there's no Wonder Woman. How do you feel about this show?
It could be mediocre at best. I would hope that they would try to introduce some of the characters that they did in comics and just never capitalized on, like Yara Flor and maybe Trinity or something like that. But in the same breath, without a Wonder Woman, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, this is supposed to be Wonder Woman before she was born, from what I'm gathering. And yes, it is
No.
supposed to take influence from Game of Thrones. So, Game of Thrones with no guys or the coolest part of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that can't be good.
No, like I told you, it's gonna be fucking Cunnilingus Sword Fight Island. Like, what the
What? Oh
what
my
are that? What
God.
else are they gonna do, bro?
I'm out of breath
Like,
again, bro.
yeah, what are they gonna do? Like, oh, a demon opened up a door on the keep that we guard all the time, and oh, whatever, dude. I don't trust like that.
Yeah, that would be
I
most unfortunate.
most unwise. But it's like I know that like that we want to build up the lore of these characters, so maybe it makes her like, a bigger deal when she does pop off, because they'll probably do some Wonder Woman legend. I'm sure some like heinous shit will happen to all these Amazonians, and then they're like, yo, we need a Wonder Woman. And they make Wonder Woman, and then eventually she'll pop up in a movie and we'll be like, oh my God. But I don't know. On its own, doesn't sound that interesting. I didn't even watch regular Game of Thrones. You're not gonna sell me on a Wonder Woman-less Game of Thrones. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't gotta be. Well, dang. I think that's the chapter.
No,
Was there any?
one more
Oh,
thing.
okay.
So there is a dynamic duo Robin movie that is supposed to be like part animated, part puppets.
But
Dead ass. Yeah, there's like a puppet show Robin movie animated thing. It's called Dynamic Duo, and they're trying to do it. It's a movie about robins with puppets.
I don't like anything with puppets.
Yeah, I know you don't trust puppets. I don't trust puppets either. It's weird. I saw animated, but then I did see mentions of puppets, and that's got me like, I don't. I ain't going to the movies to watch a damn puppet show. Yeah,
No
yeah, yeah.
way, bro.
Upcoming animated DC movie focusing on the story of Dick Grayson and Jason Todd as young Robins, essentially exploring their friendship and each other's bodies. Just kidding. And the growing tension between them as they navigate their paths in Gotham. It's
Growing
being,
tension.
yeah, sexual. Boy, love the movie.
Oh my goodness.
It's being produced by Matt Reeves and James Gunn under the DC Studios banner. Standalone story, not directly connected to the current DC Universe movie timeline. So they want to make an animated puppet movie about two Robins that weren't concurrent Robins, and it has nothing to do with anything else. How do you feel about that?
I don't.
I made a lot of inappropriate jokes and shit, but I'm just trying to really just what I'm reading, like, what is this? Why
Yeah.
is this? Who is
I'm
it
just gonna
for?
omit that from my memory. But
Yeah.
I guess they are trying to do a Clayface thing, so hopefully that makes up for it. What were you gonna say?
Spring 2028, you could look forward to this one.
Okay.
I'll probably have kids by then. We'll be going to see it.
Take him to the the weird sexual puppet show.
Yeah. Put some hair on their chest, be like, you're gonna end up like Robin after this movie. So I'm gonna be
What?
I'm gonna be
Why would they
gone.
end up like that?
Because their dad's gonna be gone after witnessing whatever the fuck that is.
Okay. Hi and goodbye. Well,
Hello.
alrighty then. I guess my final thoughts. I'm excited for most of it. Is there anything that you would like to see?
I'd like them to do Shazam, but better.
Fair.
I would like to see a good Teen Titans live action movie. Like, just do Judas Contract or something. Like, just don't take risks. Because a lot of Teen Titans stories are very mid to bad. Do a good one. Take inspiration from a good one.
Word.
But those two things are probably higher on my wish list. How about you? Anything not on this slate that you'd like to see eventually?
It's a good
Zatanna,
question. I actually put no thought into it when I thought about asking you that question. Um,
Hawkman.
I guess it's a boring answer, but I would like a Superman trilogy, bro.
Mhm.
I don't want them to just forget about him.
Okay, what three villains do you want? Or what two villains do you want after the first movie?
I would love a Brainiac, but that's kind of low-hanging fruit.
That's fair though. You want to see Brainiac on the screen. Who else do you want?
Oh my God. Let me think. What are options?
My clear choice would be Bizarro. Could you think of anybody you'd rather see than Bizarro? Parasite, Metallo,
No, I
uh,
do actually. There would be one character, Mongol.
Titano.
I'd like to see Mongol.
Oh, damn, Mongolians break down my shitty
Oh,
wall.
you know who all else I'd like to see? I'd like to see Toy Man as well.
Oh.
Toy Man and Mongol would be my two. But yes, Bizarro would be really high up there as well.
I feel like they're gonna do some like Bizarro type shit in the first one, but it's gonna be Ultraman. They're gonna do some stuff like that.
So we'll see. But that's all I got, bro.
They love making Supermen in labs. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of a weird time to do it, but now that things are actually kind of tangible, I guess it's a good time for us to kind of prognosticate into the future on all this stuff. I feel like you guys kind of know what our taste is at this point, anyways. But those are our thoughts on the upcoming DC slate. You're not going to hear us do this about Marvel because that horse has been beaten to death and it's been going for well over a decade, and neither of us really have interest anymore. So, unless they put out something cool anytime soon, won't be discussing that. If you haven't noticed, we don't do movie reviews as much because it feels like one, they don't come out anymore, and two, when they do, they're not worth our time. So, maybe if you're lucky, you'll get a Superman review, which I'm sure you're just waiting for. You're like, oh man, how about fucking the end of July?
The good news, I got the day off.
Yeah, we'll record that day.
Straight out of the theater, bro. Probably can't even speak.
Yeah, huffing and puffing, full of popcorn.
Yeah.
But that's a wrap on this app here. So if you want to hit us up or follow us or see what we're up to, see all the books we got that we talk about all the damn time, it's at CBJ Pod on Instagram. Best place to find us. We have a Twitter. It's pretty defunct. I kind of just lurk on there just to have access to weird news. X now, actually, whatever, who cares? Facebook, CBJ Podcast. You can follow us there. It's basically our Instagram feed, but on Facebook. So either way, we can see what's up with you there. We have a YouTube. It's got our entire backlog there. You can find us that way. Everywhere podcasts are found, we're there. Rate, reviewing, subscribing, 5-star reviews. Feeds the algorithm, which in turn makes us easier to find for other people. We'd greatly appreciate it if you do it. If you have done it, thank you so much. Same old spiel. Appreciate you if you made it this far. If you're new here, welcome. Also, goodbye. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you for sticking with us, and I'm excited about what we're gonna be bringing to the table in 2025 too.
Yes, sir.
Later.